I unironically listen to Bad Baby's music to this day. Like, I stand Bad Baby, and I would love for her to come back to the industry and give us another album. I'm obsessed with Terry Jo. She's one that I caught on to very early on to the trend because, like, she's obviously huge and famous. Well, she's always been huge, but she's a dainty little 300-pound woman.
Oh my God! Again, we were talking about Elvira being the queen of Halloween.
Heidi Klum is the second.
She is up there. She's the princess.
Coming for the crown.
There's always time for gossip.
I don't know her.
I still don't know her.
Yeah, double homicide.
Beyonce. Who yes?
Don't do it.
I would ask you to respect our privacy, but please, I don't respect people's privacy. That's why I do the hot topics.
Welcome to the Gossip Spot, hosted by Trey, Godsey, and Danny Osborne.
Ready?
Yeah.
Looks like you just found the G spot.
The Gossip Spot, that is.
Welcome to your favorite podcast hosted by Trey Godsey
and Danny Osborne,
where we discuss all things pop culture, spill all the pop culture tea that you want. Any tea you have, we will clock it.
That's right. And today we have a very special episode. We have our Halloween-themed episode.
Yes. So we are dressed as the Statue of Liberty in honor of Miss Wendy Williams.
Well, yes.
Back in 2017, when she had a little mishap on the show, she fainted. But, you know, it went down in pop culture history.
Everyone's still talking about it to this day. Oh.
Our first caress.
No special caress today, but...
No. Well, no, sadly not. No special caress.
But we will be having some hot topics and things like that. So one thing that we did notice was on the first episode, we didn't really introduce ourselves very well, did we?
No, not really at all.
So my name's Trey Godsey. I am an entertainment reporter, so all things pop culture, everything like that, interviewing celebrities, that's my jush, that's my gig. So that's what I get into and why I'm just so passionate about pop culture.
Definitely. And I'm Danny Osborne. I am just a journalism major. I do a little bit of everything. I do some entertainment. I do radio. I do broadcasting. I do TV. I do written. All that good stuff.
Right.
But we both have like all of the same interests though with music, pop culture, everything like that.
Right. And that's why I wanted to start a podcast so we could just have a form of expression when it comes to talking about this. Because we talk about this stuff every day all the time. So we're like, why don't we just put this into a podcast and give people our opinions?
That probably no one asked for.
But it's okay because we're still going to give them.
For sure.
So we're not going to do Tweet of the Week this week because we have a lot of things to delve into with it being our special Halloween episode. So we're going to cut that segment this week. But do you want to jump right into hot topics?
Yeah. So very first hot topic. Well, first of all, let's talk about the very most recent thing I think that happened. There is some new drama kind of with Ariana Grande.
Drama.
Her and who is it? Elvira,
Queen of Halloween. So it's perfect for this Halloween episode because, and we did not plan this. Obviously, we can't plan with Ariana Grande and Elvira to get into a cat fight. Yeah. But it's perfect that it lined up with this time frame because we can talk about it in our special Halloween episode. The Queen of Halloween
definitely
has a little beef going on with Miss Grande.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was Elvira. She was like in a meet and greet. She was sitting on a stage talking to like fans and stuff. She was doing some show. And in this, she was like, someone asked her, who is the rudest celebrity you've ever met? And she basically said Ariana Grande. This was about 7 years ago, apparently. And Ariana came and she brought like 20 of her family members from what Elvira said. And so Elvira gave them like 20 tickets for all of her family members and stuff. And she's taking pictures of all of her family members and stuff. And then I guess Elvira said, oh, Ariana, can I take a picture of you? And Ariana said, I don't really do that.
And this is all according to Elvira's recounting of this. I don't know. I think that's crazy, though. If you went out of your way to give this person tickets and meet and greet packages for all their friends and family, and then you ask for a simple picture and they're like, no, I would be pissed off too.
Yeah. Well, so this obviously blew up on like Twitter and TikTok and everything. And word got back to Ariana.
Which can I say real quick? People on Twitter, like stan accounts, are all in the comments of these pop accounts being like, who is Elvira, this old washed up hag, all this stuff. And I'm like, hold up. Elvira is the queen of Halloween. She's a gay icon. She is the moment. Like,
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
I don't know. People on Stan Twitter piss me off because it's like, you just talk out the side of your mouth. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Just because you don't know someone does not mean that they're not well known. Like, a lot of people know Elvira, and let's say a lot more people knew Elvira before they knew Ariana Grande. So.
Yeah, Elvira's been around since
forever.
Like 80s, 90s.
Maybe even before that.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
But she's a well-established queen of Halloween, and people do know who she is.
For sure. So yeah, word got back to Ariana Grande about it. She comments on Elvira's like Instagram post or something like that, and she basically said, like, Ariana said, "I'm so disheartened to see this. I actually don't remember getting the chance to meet you because I had an anxiety attack, and to my memory, left before the rest of my family." She then mentions, like, this was 7 years ago. And if you think about it, it's 2024 now. 7 years ago, this was right after Ariana Grande had the terrorist attack at her concert in Manchester, the bombing and stuff. So obviously it was a rough year for her, like having fans killed at your show and stuff. So obviously that's not going to put you, that would traumatize.
Right.
If that happened to me, I would probably to this day still be
I would still
traumatized. So I mean, I understand that if it was the same year that all happened, I get that. But it's just, I see where she's coming from, but also, I mean, God love Ariana, but I still think she should have taken the picture.
Right. Like, it's giving BS reply because even though all of those things were going on in her life at the time or whatever, you found time to go out to the show. You found time to ask for tickets for 20 people to bring with you and all that stuff. Like, and I understand if you have a panic attack, because I suffer from anxiety, obviously, but like, I understand having a panic attack and needing to leave, but clearly you weren't panicking that moment when your friends and family were meeting her and she asked you for a quick picture and you say no after she just took 20 pictures for you and your friends and family. I don't know. But I feel like Ariana does have kind of a point. She's like, this is 7 years ago. Like, why are you bringing this up now?
For sure. And it's just like,
one thing she did say that I found funny was when she was like, thank you for being so nice to my mom.
Yeah.
I don't know if she still has that same opinion. I'll ask though.
Yeah. And
she said, let me clock
she's
it
like,
real quick.
we all have our days, but Ariana ended her little like comment back, like, you'll always be our queen of Halloween. So
yeah. Elvira still stands as the queen of Halloween, even according to Ariana.
Yeah. So, I mean, and she probably forever will be.
Probably. I mean, nobody's doing it like Elvira when it comes to like the spooky, gothic type of get up.
Well, yes.
So, do you want to go into our next topic?
Yeah, definitely.
What do we have else to talk about today?
Let's talk about something that me and you have definitely been talking about a lot. Lyle and Eric Menendez.
Love that show.
It was amazing. Monsters on Netflix, created by Ryan Murphy. And it basically just tells the story of Lyle and Eric Menendez and how they killed their parents because they were being abused.
Right. And the murders happened in 89.
89, I think.
89. They were convicted in 96. So a 6 or 7 year long process of them getting caught by police, jailed, going through trial, going through a second trial, all of that. So this case has kind of made its rounds like over the years of being like, people will give it a little attention here and there and be like, hey, what's this? But I mean, I've never seen the level of like public interest in this story as it has been since the show came out. Like, everyone's talking about it. It's been in the Netflix top 10 since it dropped, which is around a month ago.
September, I think.
So it's stuck like glue. Like, the people are eating the show up. And the Monster series itself kind of had the same thing happen with season 1, because this was the second season of the Monster show itself. The first one was about Jeffrey Dahmer, which kind of the same thing happened. Like, it blew up really big and everybody was talking about it. But I would venture to say that this second season is even bigger than the first.
It definitely is. Like, I've been seeing it on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, like everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. And
it's so big that it's even kind of affecting the real life case at this point.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of public pressure from people in the public to redo this case to get an appeal for them. Because if you don't know the facts of the case, clearly watch the show. Like, go ahead and watch the show if you haven't already. It's a great show. Like, I cannot recommend it enough. But although people were hating on it because they were saying it's like not a completely accurate portrayal, but I'm like, it's a Ryan Murphy project. Did you expect a like clean cut documentary? Like no,
Yeah.
it's kind of a dramatization of it, but I would say most of the core facts are there.
It's yeah, and like also on Netflix they also put out like an actual documentary
Right. And the
on the
documentary
brothers.
itself is good too.
Yeah, and whenever I watched the show first and then I watched the documentary, going into the show, I didn't really know what all was happening with this case. I've heard of it, but I like wasn't really familiar. So I remember like watching the documentary then, and I'd be like, I remember this from the show. Like this was like a very big moment in the
Right.
show that. So for the most, there was like a few things, like a few small things. I'm like, that probably didn't happen.
Right.
But it's a TV portrayal. They're gonna add a few things to make it more interesting for TV and stuff.
Well, the biggest thing that I think people had like a problem with was making the boys have a relationship with each other.
Yeah.
Was one thing that people were saying, like, because they kind of alluded to that or like hinted at that in the Ryan Murphy monster series. But that is something that happened in real life that we do know happened, is that Lyle did things to Eric and he himself feels guilty for it. He said that in interviews and everything. But I think the show does it in a way that just has people up in arms because, they know it's not like a real accurate portrayal. So they feel like they just made that up for drama. But like, if
Yeah.
you look into the facts of the case, this is something that kind of happened. Like, I think it's a good starting point too. If you really want to dig into this case, start with that show because it'll give you all the
Yeah.
main points that you need to know. But the public's eating the show up. The two actors who play the two main characters, Lyle and Eric, they are blowing up. Like,
Yeah.
one of them doesn't have social media, but one of
Yeah.
them does, and they've just blown into superstardom. Like, people cannot stop talking about
I
them.
know. Whenever I like finish like a movie or a show that I really liked, I have to like look up the actor on like Google and find them, and then I'd be like, I have to follow them on Instagram. When I saw that Cooper Coke did not have an Instagram, I almost fell to the floor. I said, "Get this man an Instagram right now."
Nene, she said that I fell to the floor.
Nene, she said that I fell on the floor. I died.
I know. I need to see like his day-to-day life. I can't just
Yeah.
follow the fan accounts.
Well, he's gotten people riled up a little bit too because in recent interviews,
oh my god.
he was on what, Andy Cohen?
Andy Cohen.
And a popular thing for these streaming platforms who make original series to do is like show male nudity, but they'll use prosthetics and not like the real thing. Well, Cooper wanted to make it very clear that
Not a prosthetic.
He was not using a prosthetic. He said he's well hung. So
yeah.
if you're into that, you might get to see that in the show as well.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Split second, but it's there.
But it is really having an impact in real life. Like you mentioned that Kim Kardashian came out in support of the Menendez
Yeah,
brothers.
I remember I watched an interview, and it was the two actors that played the brothers, and they were in the interview saying that Kim Kardashian, because she's like a very big advocate for people in jail and stuff and getting
she
them
got a
out.
law degree a few years back, didn't she?
Yeah, I know she took the LSAT. I know that.
Do you think she scored higher than Elle Woods?
Definitely not. Elwood's got a 175. But if you've seen the movie, she got a 175. But yeah, she took the two actors that play the brothers, and she took them to actually meet the real guys, Eric and Lyle.
Right.
And
which I feel like they should have done that anyways, though. No, if you're gonna portray someone, like, shouldn't you need to like
you should be
talk
able to
to them,
meet
get
them
inside their mind?
And I know that both actors had nothing but nice things to say about the two of them.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like this show, it really makes you kind of sympathize with the brothers, even though they did this horrendous thing, like, murder their parents. But you kind of see the backstory of like why they did it.
Yeah.
And I think Monsters the series, because I felt this a lot with watching the first season of Dahmer too. It's like it makes you almost sympathize for the criminal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think what the second season did better with the Lyle and Eric story compared to the Dahmer one is while I felt sympathy for Lyle and Eric, I also had that secondhand of feeling sympathy for the parents.
Yeah.
And I feel like, with like as a journalist and having that training of like not being biased and telling both sides, I feel like this second season definitely did a better job of that than the first one.
Definitely. And, obviously everyone, this was a really big case, and it's still a really big case. And I think
it's
about
coming
it
back into light as a big case.
I know. And, back in the 90s, whenever they were going to trial, times were very different.
Extremely different.
Very different. And, people didn't really believe them and stuff because, they're like, oh, they're boys. Like, who's gonna molest a boy?
Right.
But
at that time, it was very not unheard of, but people didn't believe male victims at that time.
yeah, or now it's in 2024.
Right. We've
Times
come a
have
long
changed
way.
with the Me Too movement and stuff and this is apparently like they're trying to go back to like court about this and stuff, and because they
They're
got
up
new
for
evidence.
appeal.
Yeah, they got new evidence about it was an old note before the murder that Eric wrote to his cousin talking about the things that his dad would do to him.
The abuse.
Yeah.
Detailing the abuse.
Yeah. So with that new evidence coming in, they're wanting to take it back to court. And I think with like things that have happened in recent years with the Me Too movement and stuff, they have a better chance now of getting out of jail.
Right. There's a few different things that could happen. They could be resentenced to a lesser sentencing. They could have their sentence downgraded to manslaughter rather than first-degree murder. Obviously, what a lot of people want to see is for them to get out because they've served, I think, 34 years so far. And it's like they've spent more time in prison than they have at the age that they went into prison, because they went into prison in their like mid to early 20s. So they've spent more time in prison. My personal opinion is just like, I understand they committed these two heinous crimes against these two people and murdered them. No matter it be in self-defense or defense against abuse or whatever, they did this and they should have served time for it. But I feel like 34, almost 35 years, I feel like they've served their time.
Definitely.
Like, and especially with like rose-colored glasses on now, looking back at, you know, how much things have changed and this newfound evidence that they're going to look at in this appeal and everything like that. Like, I feel like that has to be taken into account and that they've served their time. Like, that's how I feel. They need to be let free. If we're letting Gypsy Rose free, we need to let them free as well.
Free the boys.
Free the boys. Free
It's
the Rose.
time.
Free everyone.
So, on a lighter note, let's get into our next topic.
Right.
So Bruno Mars.
Bruno.
Bruno
Haven't
Mars.
heard that name in a minute.
I know. Bruno Mars, he always, in between albums, he goes on this long hiatus.
What's it been about?
It's
6
24
years?
Karat Matt. Well, he did that album with Silk Sonic. Anderson .Paak that had like Leave the Door Open and
What was his last solo one, though? The 24 Karat Magic?
24 Karat Magic. That was 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
That's
so it's
been
like
7 years.
7 or 8 years.
Well, he's making his comeback now, though, which I knew Bruno Mars was big. You know, he did the Super Bowl halftime show pretty early into his career. So that's got to say something if you're doing it probably like 5 years in your career.
And it was huge, too, when he did. He had
It
a huge
was.
moment with Beyonce.
Yeah. And then he also did like one of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, all that good stuff. But Bruno is on his comeback, and his 2 songs that have came out so far in the last few months, he's doing these big numbers.
Right.
Like really big numbers. Back in like July or August, he put a song out with Lady Gaga, Die With a Smile, which has been in the top 10 of the charts ever since it came out.
Can I make a confession, though? I've never heard this song. Like,
That's
never once
crazy.
heard this song. But I know that it's like a huge song on the charts.
Yeah, and I see it on TikTok every day. It's kind of like a classic ballady type of song that I know like the middle-aged moms, they are eating it up. They love this song. They would die for this song.
Contemporary radio is eating it up.
For sure. And like I just see it on TikTok all the time. Everyone's like doing that song as their audio and stuff. But it's been doing these huge numbers. And then he just had a new song came out with Rose, who is a member of Blackpink. It's called APT. And it just came out and it's already doing huge numbers. It came out not even a week ago at this point. The music video already has over 100 million views on YouTube, which, well, I think that doesn't really happen this quick
That's what
anymore.
I was going to say is like YouTube views are down for everyone. YouTube as a platform is kind of dying,
Yeah.
like especially when it comes to music. And I know a lot of people won't even make music videos anymore because they're getting no payback from it. Why
like,
spend $1 million on a music video when
Yeah.
you're not going to make that money back?
And
So for them to get 100 million views so quickly, that's insane.
I know.
Especially in 2024.
even like, you know, obviously right now the biggest artist is Taylor Swift. Even she's not doing that with
Right.
YouTube views. So, but also I do
Well,
know
K-pop fans are insane.
they will do anything for
Don't
their
come for
idols.
us.
Like the song came out Friday. Over 100 million views already is crazy. You know, 2013, 2014, you could do that in like 3 days probably.
Well, even up until like 2019, because Ariana got like 50 million. She set the record, right, for like 50 million views in a single 24 hours.
Yeah, which I don't know.
It's really just within these last like 3 or 4 years that YouTube has fallen off in terms of views.
You have like TikTok now.
Yeah,
that's where everyone goes. Same thing with this Bruno Mars song with APT. It's doing over 10 million streams a day on Spotify. I think it's close to 14 million streams every single day. And it just keeps going up and up and up. But it's crazy though. And what I want to talk about though is Bruno Mars is obviously big.
Right.
But is all of this hype with these songs, is it coming from him? Is it coming from, these collabs? Or is it coming just from the girl singer? Because, obviously the song with Rosé, she was in probably the biggest K-pop girl group of all time. So obviously she's going to have those streams coming in. But then there's another song with Lady Gaga. Obviously she's one of the biggest stars on the planet also.
In my opinion, I feel like the song with Gaga, that was like, I feel like it was mutually, because to me, I kind of view Gaga and Bruno in that same area artistically of like, they were huge in the early 2010s. They've kind of not fallen off, but they've taken a step back in a lot of ways recently. So I feel like them coming together was like a nostalgic moment almost of like early 2010s, and then also just both of them don't really put out a lot of music anymore, so I feel like fans were excited to listen to it. And then if it came out and it was a good song, people are like, oh, it's actually good, like let me keep listening to it. So that's kind of why it's maintained its relevancy and stayed so high up on the charts. I feel like that one was kind of like a mutual thing, but I feel like with this song with Rosé is definitely Rosé's impact in my opinion, because that just with any collab though, for like
anything K-pop
or BTS or Blackpink or anything like that, like the fans go insane. Twice, all of them, like the K-pop fans are an insane
they are
fan
not
base.
Playing. They are not playing.
They stream, they buy, they vote for awards. They don't play.
They
I feel like it was very smart for Bruno to team up with somebody like Rosé, because he knows that's going to put him back on the map.
Yeah. And obviously if he puts out an album anytime soon, obviously with just these two songs alone, this album will be very successful.
Right. Do you think he'll be as successful as he was in his earlier career? Because in my opinion, Bruno Mars is someone that I often forget about.
Yeah. Because he has the hits.
He has the hits to back it up, but he's not somebody that I think of when I think of relevant pop culture figures at this moment.
I think right now it's hard to tell, because we need like a solo song to see how that does. Because, right now it's hard to tell just because he has songs with two big female artists that have big fan bases. So we will have to see what happens whenever he puts out a solo song. But also I feel like it will do good though, considering both of these collabs have been huge, that they're going to be like, oh, Bruno Mars again. So
I guess we'll just have to wait and find out though.
Yeah. So let's talk about also, you were telling me this earlier tonight, Bad Baby.
Love Bad Baby. So Bad Baby, Danielle Bregoli, the Catch Me Outside girl, whatever you want to call her. I'm going to call her Bad Baby because that's her artist name. She had posted something. I can't remember if it was on Twitter that I saw it or if it was on her Instagram, but she posted something. It was a little clip of her in the studio, and it was like a song playing in the background. She was talking in the clip. She was talking about like her baby, and because she's had conflicts with her baby daddy recently, and she said something about that in the song that she kind of previewed. This is something that needs to happen. I'm going to scoot up to say this. Bad Baby must come back to the industry. Like, I don't think people understand. Like, you just had to be there. You had to be there. It was a time.
She was everywhere.
2017, 2018, right after she blew up from the Dr. Phil show and she announced that she was going to start a rap career. I don't think people understand. And, like, looking back now with a couple years of hindsight, it's like, everything was set up for her to win, and she took it. Like, she took that crown. She did not fail us. Like, that's the thing, because her first song she came out with was These Hoes, and that one, I want to say it charted on Billboard, and she was one of the youngest female rappers, well, probably the youngest female rapper, but one of the youngest female artists, period, to chart on Billboard.
Yeah.
She was even nominated for the Billboard Awards, I think it was. She was nominated for one of these awards. She was huge for the time. Like, because at that time, 2017, 2018, Cardi B had just broken onto the scene, and Nicki Minaj was really the only female rapper at that time that was getting any recognition.
Yeah.
Aside from Cardi B. And I think that Cardi has not done a lot of good for the female rap industry, in my opinion. But I think what she has done is kind of lowered the bar.
Yeah.
I'll say she lowered the bar because it's not so much about your lyrical abilities anymore with her. It's about how well you can sell an image, how well you can sell a hit. So I feel like that's what Bad Baby was doing as well. She came along in that era of like where you can sell a hit. She maybe she doesn't have the best lyrics, but she can sell that hit, and she has the image for it. She has the voice for it. Bad Baby, if you're seeing this somehow, please return to the industry. Give us another album.
We
Go on
need
tour.
you.
Like, we need you. Because when she said on the High Bitch remix, when she sat there and said, "Bitch, don't compare me to Iggy. That Oho is washing. I'm lit. Wouldn't pay her to wash up my whip. Bye broke bitch. Bye ho." Something
She
changed.
spilled.
Something changed in my brain chemistry. I love Iggy Azalea, but something changed in my brain chemistry when I heard that. Like, and it's not even just that song. She had a hits like Gucci Flip Flops is
Gucci
platinum.
Flip Flops, Bestie.
Everyone knows Gucci Flip Flops. Bestie with Kodak Black, and then the Megan Stallion remix. She has a song called Trust Me with Ty Dolla $ign that I love. Like, I unironically listen to Bad Baby's music to this day.
Yeah.
Like, I stand Bad Baby, and I would love for her to come back to the industry and give us another album.
Those are all big names in rap too.
Yes,
Megan
for
Thee
her to
Stallion,
come out.
Ty Dolla $ign.
Well, that time Megan wasn't as big, but Ty was a big feature for her.
Yeah.
Even Kodak Black at that time was a big feature for her. Like, she had the connections, she had the budget, she had everything she needed to succeed. And I think she did, but I think she took a step away once she got a little older and wanted to focus on other things. But I need her to refocus on this album. Bad Baby, where is the album?
Well, yes, where is the album? We need it. So let's do one more hot topic, and then let's get into a Halloween segment, a special Halloween segment. Terry Joe is doing a TV show.
Are you familiar with Terry Joe?
I am familiar with Terry Joe.
I'm obsessed with Terry Joe. She's one that I caught on to very early on to the trend because, like, she's obviously huge and famous. Well, she's always been huge, but she's a dainty little 300-pounder
my
woman.
God, again.
But I caught on to her quite early on when she only had, I think it was maybe 100 or 200,000 followers, and I followed her along this journey. I love Terry Joe. She's one of the funniest people on TikTok, in my opinion. One of the funniest people in general in recent years, because I feel like people are so, and I think what makes her so successful is she's not afraid to take it there. She's not afraid to say something offensive or crass or harsh. She will tell you how it is to your face, and she doesn't care about the consequences or or people reprimanding her. Like, and I think that's what makes her so successful, because everyone's so scared to get canceled nowadays. Everyone's walking on eggshells with everything they say, and it's like, she doesn't, and that's funny.
She doesn't care.
She doesn't care, and that's funny to people.
She is there with Tana Mojo, Azalea Banks, Trisha Paytas.
Yeah.
They don't care.
She's uncancelable.
Yeah.
But I think it's very fun for her that she finally got a show, because I know that's something that she had kind of talked about, is like, well, because I know she went on the H3 podcast with what's his name who hosted?
Don't know.
Didn't know she hosted. I thought she podcasted or whatever.
Don't know what she's saying. I didn't know she sang. I thought she rapped or whatever. Yeah.
But the H3 podcast, I think his name's Ethan. He used to host with Trisha Paytas, but she went on that podcast, and they had talked about, like, how can we expand you as a brand? Like, how does Terry Joe expand moving forward aside from just TikTok lives? And you know, she said she'd be open to the idea of doing a show. So I looked into it, and it's with Tubi.
Free, by the way.
The Tubi platform.
When the show comes out, stream it.
But she says it's all about the Terry Joe universe. The other character she plays along with Terry Joe will be in there. It's like a dramedy. Apparently, it's like a film. I don't know if it's a show or if it's a film. I think it's a film. I can look on the website and get clarification. But I'm excited to see what she has together. But I am a little scared because, like I said, the thing that makes Terry so great is that she doesn't water herself down. She doesn't tone back for anyone. So I wonder if working with a major network like Tubi, if she will have to tone herself and the character back, and how that will play out in the end, because if she's not allowed to be her full authentic self, then but I think that is something she also mentioned on the podcast, was like, if she does do something like this, she wants to have enough control over it to where she can still have her input. So we'll see how it plays out. I mean, I'm excited to watch it. I'll be seated,
and I'm sure, like,
I'll be seated in Terry Joe's wheelchair.
And I'm sure, like, also, like, if she doesn't like if she goes, that's not what I want, she'll cut it off.
Well, you know, I love Terry Joe so much that one of my friends, Carice, shout out Carice if you're watching this, she spent $50 on Cameo to get me a Terry Joe cameo. Maybe I'll include a clip right here of the cameo that I got, but Terry's just so funny.
Hey Trey, how are you? Christian young man, how are you? I'm hoping you're a Christian young man. I know you're probably a homosexual color one at that, because your name's Trey and you like Nicki Minaj, so.
I love Terry. Yes.
So
Color.
let's get into a very special Halloween segment where Halloween, it's iconic, obviously.
We love Halloween.
And something that we both love is seeing what all of our favorite celebrities dress up as every year for Halloween.
Right.
And it's a big thing now. Like everyone will post on Instagram like what they are wearing.
Well, yes.
They will go all out for Halloween.
I think that Halloween, the culture of it has changed, especially, I don't know if it's just because we've grown up and we become adults, but there definitely does seem to be a shift of it, and it seems to be with Instagram. Like, it's like people go all out just for Instagram.
Just for a post.
Especially these celebrities, though. They'll spend, Heidi Klum has spent $10 million.
Oh my god! Because her parties, she has the biggest Halloween party
on the prosthetics for her costume 1 year of like cloning herself.
And
like these celebrities are insane.
We were talking about Elvira being the queen of Halloween.
Heidi Klum is the second.
She is up there. She's the princess.
She's coming for the crown.
So what's been like your favorite celebrity Halloween costume?
I don't know if I have a favorite per se, because I really like what everyone does every year. I just like seeing it all. But obviously I gotta, shout out my girl Nicki Minaj. Like, I love Nicki Minaj. Everyone knows this about me. But when she does Halloween, I think she does it well. She doesn't do it every year. She doesn't post. I'm excited to see if she'll post this year, because I don't think she did last year. 2022, she dressed up as Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with her husband and her son, Papa Bear. And it was like Honey, I Shrunk Papa Bear. I think that was a really cute idea. I think it was 2019 that she did Harley Quinn and the Joker with her husband. And she ate, like, her outfit was eating, her hair, her wig was eating, like, everything about her ate that year. I'm always excited to see Nicki. Another one I'm excited to see is like Lil Nas X, because he's so fun and like campy that he just like goes out of the box and does like his big one. So I'm excited to see him.
I'm very excited for Katy Perry. She always, every year she has really big ones. I remember she was a hot Cheeto one time, which I think is so funny. She was literally like a singular hot Cheeto, and her like little trick or treat bag was literally just a bag of hot Cheetos. And then, she's campy. She will always find a good costume. Right. Another really big person for Halloween, Heidi Klum.
Well, I think Katie should do, like, if she wants to drum up publicity for this album and reach the nostalgic audience that she wanted to reach with this album, like, no shade, but all tea, all shade, all pink lemonade. I think she should redo her, like, getting slimed at the Kids' Choice Awards that year. That video, I'll put it on here, but the video pops up on my Twitter. Like, it makes its rounds every few months, and it's so funny to me. Like, somebody had it out for her that night.
Literally.
Because, like, I'm sure she had to agree to be slimed, but, like, I don't know if she knew exactly when or how they were going to do it.
Like, it smacked her in the face so hard.
Is the way she, like, flies.
I know. She so falls on the ground, too.
It's so funny.
They wanted her dead.
Oh. And you too, Mr. Spears.
Yeah, and you too, Mrs. Spears.
Death
to all of them.
But I just think it was funny. And Heidi Klum.
Queen
of Halloween, Princess of Halloween.
She has the very big Halloween party every single year. I'm very excited to see what she does this year.
Yeah.
Because, she was the earthworm.
That one was scary. Like,
very scary.
All you could see really was like her eyes peeking through the costume, and
it gives me the chills. I'm like,
best way.
I can't see that. She was the Michael Jackson werewolf.
Yeah, she ate that.
She was
1 year she spent $10 million making clones of herself, and when she walked the red carpet, it was like 3 or 4 or 5, maybe even 6, like, clones of her exact body size, her face, and everything.
Which is crazy.
She is committed. To spend $10 million on a costume is crazy.
And she always one-ups herself, too.
And she's been hosting this party for like 25 years.
Yeah.
So, like, every year having to outdo yourself, like, girl, at some point you got to give it up.
I'm so excited
Give
to see
it up, Delicious. You look like a man.
Give it up, Delicious. You look like a man.
I'm excited to see what she does this year.
I'm excited to see. But speaking of, like, what Heidi's going to dress up as this year, what do you think everyone's going to dress up as this year? Because for me, last year was, like, clearly Barbie. Like, Barbie really took the cake when it came to, like, big pop culture moments that people are going to do for Halloween. But I don't know if there was any, like, big movies or anything this year that people are going to do. I could see people doing the Menendez brothers.
For sure, Menendez brothers. I think definitely the big three of 2024, Charlie XCX, Chapel Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, especially Chapel.
Yeah.
She has some very campy outfits.
Well, we're kind of dressed as Chapel now with Gov Ball.
Gov Ball, she was the Statue of Liberty. So definitely those three, though, because they've all had big years.
They have.
I definitely see, people wearing the Brat Green for Charlie XCX. People dressing up as, like, from Sabrina Carpenter in the swimsuit in the Espresso video.
I could see that.
Anything Chapel does, someone's going to dress up as her.
Well, she's just very camp. Like, in almost any of her performance outfits could be seen as like a Halloween costume.
Definitely.
So I feel like people are going to do that a lot, but I just can't think of any big like shows or movies off the top of my head that people could like really channel this year. I feel like it could be another year for Barbie. Yeah. Because I mean, Barbie is just such like a timeless classic that, I mean, there's not a specific year for
20 years from now, people will still be dressing up as her.
Yes.
I think that's it. Should we do a wrap?
Yeah.
So
somebody get me a burrito because it's a wrap for this bitch.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week for our very special Halloween episode
of The Gossip Spot.
The G Spot,
if you will.
Make
sure you follow us on social media. Follow our Instagram at Gossip Spot Podcast. I'm also posting trailers for each episode on my TikTok at Trey Godsey with 2 Y's on Godsey, Godseyy. Make sure you tune in for our next episode. Tune in for what we have in store. We do have some things coming. Hopefully some special guests coming. Should we tease what it is?
Think about dancing.
Yeah, and think about mothers. That's all we'll say.
Sizzle. We're very excited.
Make sure you check us out. Engage with us. You know, if you don't like something that we say, let us know. If you like something we say, if you have a topic you want us to talk about, let us know.
Yeah.
But until next time.
We'll see you in the next one.
Don't forget to hit your G-spot.
Toodaloo.